Hello everyone, welcome to the basics of Zyrtex. So my last video was pretty incorrect compared to the one I'm about to make, and it was full of wrong information. So before that happens again, I want to make sure that if you see anything wrong with the video, if you're actually experiencing this sort of topic, that you correct me in the comment section, because I don't want another issue happening like last time. So yeah. Last time I had a lot of dumb information, and I'll get into some of the corrections there. Okay, so in this video, we're going to be going over a few things. First of all, showing off what a zero tick is. So basically, a lot of people don't actually know what a zero tick is. I'm also going to explain block event delay, and I'm going to show off what you can do with zero ticks if you're unfamiliar with them. I'm going to explain folding double piston extenders and how you can get them to be like very fast and like a few other things, and yeah, basically just going to show you some basics. Okay, so let's get over to what a zero tick actually is. A zero tick is basically a redstone pulse that powers and depowers in the same game tick. And it's kind of based off of some of these components, such as like observers, redstone dust, repeaters, and torches. Pistons are excluded from this group. So like pretty much everything inside this redstone tab is a tile tick, except for pistons. Pistons are something different. Almost everything is here. Like obviously, chop chest is a tile entity and stuff like that, and so is dispensers, droppers, but they also like do a little bit of other stuff. Okay, so when we grab a piston right here, if we power these two are powering in the block event phase. Well, it's being powered in the player event player phase, so you get the idea. So if we fire these two right here, then these are both being powered in block event phase, and these are being powered in the tile tick phase. So if I power this redstone dust, is being powered in the tile tick phase. They update in the tile tick phase, anyways, among other things, right? So basically, if you look at something where you have a piston and a repeater both firing at the same exact time, like same exact game tick, like if piston is powering something instead of a repeater, this won't work because it's different, but I guess that will be clocking. But you get the idea. Basically, this piston would fire first, always, because it's powered in the tile tick phase before the block event phase. So the tile tick one will always go first because it's before. And that is basically like a lot of the ideas of zero ticks, and that's just general piston timings and stuff that you should pretty much know. Okay, so if you're anywhere familiar with simple like things like this, piston pushing, in my old basics of zero ticks video, I said that pistons and all other components power after 3 game ticks when pushing a piston, but it's actually only pistons that update. So if I place a repeater here, it'll update 1 game tick after this piston, because this is a 4 game tick delay. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 game tick delay. So pistons are 2 game tick delays, basically, or 1 tick delay. But pistons, like other pistons, like this, if like this piston would react an extra game tick, so it'd be a 3 game tick delay, or 1.5 ticks if you're using it redstone ticks. So it's definitely something. So if I place the slime block right here, let's just say I want to have a bud. The weird thing with this is no matter what, I place the observer here. If I push this piston forward, these 2 pistons will fire at the same time that this rail activates, but the observer activates 1 game tick later. Even though it should activate 2 game ticks later, it activates 1, which shows that the rails update after 2 game ticks. So if I stop it, the weird thing though is even though the rails update after 2 game ticks, the piston updates at game tick 3. I'm not really sure why this is, but it's just the way Minecraft works. It's because it's powering in tile tick phase, I'm pretty sure. I'm not really qualified. If you know, comment down below. But yeah, that is just something to know. If you have a rail line going off, pistons will still react after 3 game ticks instead of 2, unlike this observer. Because this observer is going 1 game tick after, firing 1 game tick after, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, we already saw that with a repeater. Alright, and you're probably wondering, okay, so if we look off over here, why are we using sticky pistons on something like this? So if any of you guys remember the zero tick farms, basically you had something. Let me stop this really quickly. You basically had something like this, and you were probably confused. Like, okay, I mean, it's just a regular zero tick farm moment. I shouldn't have done that. I'm dumb. So place this. Yeah, so it's just a zero tick farm. So if you remember how you can place like sugarcane on top, or I guess bamboo, but I don't know. I don't have bamboo. I'm in 1.12. But yeah, I mean, if you remember something like this from like 1.14 or so, these are basically zero tick farms. Basically, what's happening is the sticky piston's instantly moving the dirt to this location right here, but it's taking an additional 3 game ticks for the dirt to continue onto this block right here, so it can yeet back and forth. Now, Chorus Fruit does still do this, at least in .12. Chorus Fruit was the only thing you could zero tick back and forth and get it to work. This is all fixed, I believe, in newer versions, but I don't know. Okay. I think they fixed it in like 1.16. Okay. So if I power this, there is a distinct difference between sticky pistons and normal pistons. Sticky pistons, you know how they kind of spit out their block like so? So when they spit out their block, basically a zero tick yeets it out instantly. So think of it as a instant block teleportation, because that's what it is. So if you've ever seen some stuff from maybe from Skyflip or... Oh, there's a bird outside my window that flew by. Oh, man. Yeah, so if you've ever seen any of Skyflip's videos, you know, old YouTuber, I guess, but he has a video where he shows instant block teleportation, and instant block teleportation is pretty much just bringing a block here to here instantly. And I can link Skyflip's video down below. I mean, it's a cinematic, so it kind of just shows what instant block teleportation is. It basically yeets blocks from here, here, and like all the way forward, but it's all within a game tick, which is pretty cool. So yeah, pistons is instant block teleportation if you zero ticket. Now there are some limitations to it. You can't just like make an instant flying machine that just yeets across the entire lane, like literally instantly. Unfortunately, there is a delay, and there's no way to work around it. So if you zero tick more than one block at once, so I'm just going to go over here to this zero tick generator I have right here. So for example, this is just an instant wire, and it does a zero tick pretty easily. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, you can see that this is just a zero tick. Yeah, it's nice. It just does a zero tick. But if I yeet more blocks across, it'll take the additional 3 game ticks to move it like across again. So if I look at this, all these blocks move, but these 3 take the extra time to keep moving. I don't have game speed, so I can't really show it down all that much, and since I'm in 1.12, smooth client animations doesn't exist, so yeah. But you get the idea that the blocks right here were basically moving. Unfortunately, with this also includes slime, so you were unable to make a very nice, like, gamer wire. It's just not possible. Unfortunately. Okay. If you're sitting here wondering why I've always been showing off using sticky pistons to show off zero ticks, I'm going to explain why. Basically, when you place 2 redstone blocks next to each other, let's just use this as an example. And I slow down the tick rate like so, and I break this redstone torch. I actually set it a little bit faster. If I place the redstone torch now, it basically will go through everything as usual, but the sticky piston will always arrive first. Because normal pistons have the curse of always pushing, like, there's no difference between pushing this entire line and just one block with normal pistons, unfortunately. The next thing to go over is block event delay. So we already talked about how block events are a thing. Like, if you look at a block event, we already talked about how there's normal pistons and sticky pistons, and of course a few other things, but that's besides the point. So if we look at this right here, you can tell, okay, well, these are, in fact, let me actually turn up the tick rate. So, like, as you can see right here, these are, in fact, block events, but why do they matter in zero ticks? So if you watched my last video, you'll understand why. They're pretty much like the delay inside of a game tick, at least for zero ticks and powering other pistons. For other things, it doesn't matter because, like, for example, if we just do this super simple zero tick generator, so like this is a basic zero tick generator. It won't power a piston, like so. It won't power a piston, but it'll power a repeater. As you can see, powers a repeater, doesn't power a piston. And this is because it doesn't have enough block event delay. So even though it's using 1 piston to fire, it is being powered from a tile tick, and that means it can only power tile ticks. The pulse is short enough because since the observer powers in tile tick phase, only tile ticks will be able to react to it since it is being powered from a tile tick, if that makes sense. So if I do something like this and I like place a piston on top, as you can see, the piston will start to fire. And now it fires, see? And then you can check if it's a zero tick by grabbing an armor stand, placing it in there, like so. Break this torch, and as you can see, if the armor stand moves whatsoever, it is not a zero tick. I should note that. So yeah. It is possible to get 1 game tick pulses that actually pistons don't react to. It's it's a little bit complex, but yeah, it's possible. So as you can see right here, this is a completely functional system, as you can see. And like the reason why you need the bed here, I'm gonna say bed now instead of block event delay because it's just shorter. The reason why you need the bed here is basically because if this piston technically doesn't have enough delay to power. It's not on for long enough. It's just like a very short pulse that like can only power tile ticks, which is like, as I said before, tile ticks are torches, repeaters, dust, etc. Pretty much everything inside this tab right here, except for pistons, like I said. And pistons fire and block event phase because they do other things. Okay, so if you go right here, it does the zero tick. Okay. So, bed is basically just the delay inside of a game tick. Think of it as literally just delay. So, each piston is an extra repeater. Okay, so I'm going to head over here and show off some bed. I'm going to actually remove this really quickly. So, over here, I'm going to be explaining a little bit more about what block event delay is. So, right here, I have a folding double piston extender. So, if I power this observer, it basically moves everything. It instantly moves this block out, and then zero ticks in this piston right here, and it zero ticks it in, like, right here, like so. So the piston's right here, and then does a 3 game thick pulse to extend and retract it. And it's basically just doing that backwards to do retraction, like so. Push this down. Okay. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to show now is I'm going to show basically how I got this to work. So since it is a delay inside of a game tick, we also do a little bit of gaming with bed here. So right down here, we just have a basic zero tick pulse generator. It's super simple. If you look right here, if I just power this, I mean, it does a zero tick. Super simple. Basically, just pushes down this column, and these two pistons update this piston since it's budded because when this block arrives here, it's powered. And so it shoots back up. And that's basically the entire idea. You place things right here. It does a zero tick. As you can see, this piston is also zero ticking. And then you can do the armor stand trick once again to test it, like so. Place the armor stand, and as you can see, it says zero tick. Client glitch, yeah. But you can see it's zero ticks, yeah. And we can basically extend how long this pulse can be by just adding more block event delay. So you can easily chain it a little bit longer, relatively easily, like doing this stuff, you know? You can easily do something like this, and all of a sudden we have a really nice chain. Yeah. So, yeah. We have a nice chain of block events, still does the same zero tick. But the pulse is just longer. So if we add in more budding and stuff, it'll actually do enough. So I now only have one block event down here. So if I update this observer, you would expect 2 pistons to fire, but now it's only 1. And the reason it does that is because this pulse down here isn't long enough. This pulse down here is very short. And because it's so short, this piston doesn't have enough time to update this piston in time for the pulse to still be there. If the pulse was still there as this piston was updating, it would fire. So if I add in the 2 block events now, like so, if I remove this rail, and I do this, now both pistons fire, like so. But if I add the rail back, only top one fires. And that is because basically these 2 pistons don't have enough time to bud. And the reason why this one piston doesn't work as well, I just explained it. Yeah, so basically the pulse isn't long enough, and so the piston at the top fires, but the bottom one doesn't have enough time to be updated. Okay, so let's get into how to do some basic block teleportation. So let's just come down here and then do something like as super simple like this. So let's just do... Yeah, let's just do this. Let's just send these 2 blocks right here to right here. That's all. This is basically just a simple ABBA circuit to do retraction. So, yeah, it's just an ABBA circuit, but yeah, you get the idea. Okay, so let's just do some dust zero ticks because those are the simplest. I'm actually going to be doing observer zero ticks because I know them better than dust zero ticks, actually. So, yeah, they're also easy to work with. Okay, so I'm just going to be using pistons like this with just some extra block event delay right here. So, go. So, take these 2 back. Okay. So, right now, let's just say I want to have these blocks. I want to have these 2 blocks right here be right here when I'm done. I want this block to be zero ticked. That's all. So, yeah, let's try it. So, let's just place a sticky piston right here with some extra repeaters. Do something like this, but instead, I'm just going to have a lot of extra block delay here. Wait, actually, I want this one to be instant, then this one. No. Yeah, I'm being dumb. Okay. Just have some extra block event delay right here. It's not hard to do. Just add a lot of piston chaining. Probably far too much here, but just make sure it works first. Okay. I just fire this. And this didn't work. And basically it didn't work because... Wait, is it this bug? Ah, it's this bug. Yeah, there's a bug in Minecraft 1.12 where you can't push a piston into the void, which is pretty annoying, but yeah. Let me move this up one. Okay, so if we look right here, I wired a bit of stuff up, and as you can see, I found out something really weird. Basically, if there's a leaf in front, you can push a piston down, and it will break the leaf. Um, but if I move it over here and I power it, it doesn't actually push because of a bug in 1.12. Yeah, I found that interesting. Anyways, we have this system basically zero ticks and zero ticks across. So yeah, let me pulse this thing right here. As you can see, it zero ticks these two across. Now, I know I said I was going to do something like this, but, I mean, you get the idea. You can do a lot of stuff with zero ticks like this, so, yeah. Power this again. Zero tick. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I kind of already explained how this works. Basically, when this system fires, it zero ticks this block first over, and then later in the game tick, it zero ticks this piston, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so that is just some nice little contraption that you can do. Okay, let's move on to this contraption now. So this contraption basically zero ticks this piston out, zero ticks it back, so this is all within game tick 0. When retracting, it also zero ticks this back at game tick 3, and then zero ticks it again at 6. So it is a 9 game tick DVE. So if I clock it, as you can see it is going burr. But if I place the block in front, it does do the final retraction, but then it starts getting in this infinite loop. Because this piston, when it zero ticks right here, can't expire because of this observer stack. So yeah, this is why this sort of DVE doesn't work very well. So yeah. It is possible to get the instant DPE done, as you can see, right here. And you can see a lot of these in 4-game tick firms, just not the final block retraction. It relies off of the same principles. As soon as the piston gets here, it updates itself, however, and the observer right here is already firing, ready for this piston to fire. So that actually makes the wiring pretty simple. Okay, moving on to these two contraptions, which is personally my favorite, because I actually spent a little bit of time on both of these. If I can get them to use in intervals of 24 game ticks, this is a 24 game tick triple piston extender that I just like threw together. So on the right one, I made a little bit with Couch from the Mindtech server. He did a little bit of stuff for it. I did most of it, but still. So this is some cool stuff that you can see here. It does a 24 game tick triple piston extender. It's pretty neat. And basically, it's just this entire one is just this one on the left, but compacted by a ton, as you can see. So yeah, you can see a little bit of zero tick tech over here. So you can see a zero tick on this retraction, a zero tick right here. So if I just slow down tick right, you can see it pretty well. So on a retraction of these pistons, it does a zero ticks this back right here, and then zero ticks this piston. So you can kind of see it again. So it does extension. Extension is zero tickless because it doesn't zero ticking anything in the extension is useless. Doesn't do anything. Okay, retracts it. These observer columns come down and they do a zero tick when pushed up, as you can see. Zero tick. These are being retracted back, and then it zero ticks, and zero ticks again. And all this side is right here is just that, but like heavily compacted. So yeah, can come down from the bottom right here. You can see it even better. So you can do a lot of cool things with zero ticks. I can link a few 4-game tick farms down below, even my own 4-game tick birch. And you can do a lot of different things with just basic zero tick chaining, because you really just want the least amount of actions for the most amount of lag, at least for basic tree farms. For like piston doors and stuff, I recommend going and checking out some of Reverse Gravity's videos and Elugia's videos and stuff like that. They show off a lot of cool zero tick gens and technology for that sort of stuff. This is basically just an opening for zero ticks and stuff like that. And I hope you understand a little bit more about the game. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's pretty late at night, so that's why I'm talking more of a whisper. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Also, quick note, yeah, I have a new Minecraft skin. Binary made it. Thank you.